Hello everybody. Thought I'd do an update on how Barbara is going. It's been a little while since I've posted Barbara's update, but Barbara has got her full outside cladding on now. So I think in the last one we were just getting these walls up here, and that was as far as I got. It's been raining here, so because I'm just doing it very precariously, and I've got sawhorses up on the roof to hold the tarp up, every time it rains I can't really do any work because it all gets a bit too wet and manky. So that puts a bit of a stop to it. But Barbara's got all the cladding. Look how gorgeous her curves are. It all went on relatively smoothly. It's a shame about this piece of ply here because that's got a really nice pattern wood grain on it that's going to get painted, unfortunately, which is a poo. So yeah, there we are. So all the cladding went on. I've used a 4mm, for anybody that wants to know, a 4mm marine ply, 4mm marine hardwood ply. Cost me, I think I said in the last video, the $50 a sheet. So Barbara needed, not including the side walls, Barbara needed, because I had to, because originally Barbara was cladded in one full sheet in the factory, all the way from the down here at the front, all the way up over the top and back down around, was just one piece of ply. But because I've had to do it, because you obviously can't get it like that anymore, I had to cut it, sheets of the ply. You can't see because I put the roof in now, but you can see the framework, and the framework sort of goes up still and across. You can see where there's been a join there. So there was framework there. There was framework right next to where the electricals is coming out of the ceiling. So there was a bit of framework there. There's framework there. So I had to measure to try and get as much out of a sheet as possible, because they're about 1200 wide, the sheets, by 2400 long. So I had to try and get as much. Anyway, cut a long story short, you're babbling, Michael. It took 6 sheets to do the whole middle. It took me 4 sheets on each side. So that's where most of my expenses gone into the cladding, but everything's all nailed down nicely, sealed with the sealer I told you about. I have been spending so much time painting and still discovering things. The handrail, oh, not the handrail, this, what am I doing? I've got a bit of old rose bush on me, ouch. Okay, this for the table was all hidden under layers and layers. I haven't obviously finished painting this. Layers and layers, so it came off pretty easy. It's all metal, as you can see, this bit to hold the table. And I have been painting and painting and painting and painting and painting and vacuuming. Oh god. Okay, in my last video I think I started painting this, I think. but the roof wasn't on yet, right? So painted, and obviously have to leave it 24 hours to do another coat, then another coat, and I think this has had 2 coats. I think everything now has had 2 coats. I think I finished at 2 coats yesterday. Used up a whole tin. What I've been using is still wet. Let me just get that off my fingers. Didn't realise that was going to be still wet while I had it open. Hang on. Bear with me a sec. That was silly. Oh, okay. So what I've been using is this. It is a 3-in-1 interior exterior by Taubmans. That's just the brand that we've got here. Primer, sealer and undercoat, which thank goodness I decided to use, because it seems like it's been going on forever. So I've painted everything. Some of it, as you are aware, this alone, the crockery shelves and the cup holders, all had to be painted, and I did get them all off while I had the cladding off, and they all came out. I could sand them and paint them properly. If I hadn't been able to do that, that would have been a right mess. That looks gorgeous the way it does now. Got my electrical in. I've got these bits of quad, so once I can get closer, and the reason I'm using this is because I've got that bit of a gap there the electrical couldn't cover, so I'll just put a piece of quad around there and it'll look like it's meant to be there, and I'll sort of tie this in so it doesn't stick out like dogs' testicles. So that's there. Like I said, heaps of paint, heaps of sanding, 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 paint, 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 sanding, 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 paint, 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 sand, sand, paint, paint, sand and sand and paint and sand and more paint. And I still haven't finished. So now that I've got all the undercoat prep, 3-in-1 thing happening, everything's all done. And it looks good on camera, but yeah, it still needs the top coat. This has come up a lot better. I don't know if you saw my last video. The roof was off, ceiling was off in here because it was just too rotted, and I managed to put the ply on without too much hassle. I did find some quad that was reasonably close. That looks a bit bodgy there though. I thought that would have been blended in a little bit better. My bad, but it's not that bad really in the scheme of things. People aren't going to notice that much. So found one. I couldn't find one small enough to fit there, so I shaved it down, but obviously didn't shave it down enough. But it's all good. So it's all painted, ready to go. I put my electricals in. You can see there, I put all this in before I put the cladding on. There's more in there as well that I put on. That one's been painted over. There's a cable for the television aerial. What else? Oh, the electrical. I'm doing myself, the 12 volt for the tail lights and all that sort of stuff I'm doing myself. So I still have to tie that into the main one down here. I'm leaving that at the moment because I've got my lights on order. And the same with over here. This is looks a bit of a mess, but I've got my wire in there. I was going to start doing it the other day. The black wire, that is, but I'm going to wait until my lights get here so I know what I'm working with. Instead of putting holes in and that sort of stuff, it's just not going to work. I'd rather wait until the lights and then do that. An auto electrician came out. I think I said it in another video. An auto electrician came out when I was looking at somebody to do wiring for the caravan. Oh, there you go. There you go. And an auto electrician came out and said, "Oh no, I can't do your main 240 volt wiring. But I'll tell you what to do for your 12 volt wiring." And he wrote down all the sequence of the coloured wires and where they go to and all that sort of stuff. He's been really helpful. If you get into any trouble, let me know and I'll help you out as much as possible. That was great. Good man. I have painted that, which was in a pretty bad state. I don't know if I pointed it out in other videos. So I painted that a metallic silver, as you can see, and it has fixed it up a lot. That should be sitting down flat like that, and you don't even notice it. So that's done. What else is there? I've decided to paint the inside of the ice box. That's just the undercoat, the primer, because I didn't know how the silver paint would go in a ice box, because people can still use that. They will be able to put ice in there and it'll still be like a little fridge that you can store drinks in and that sort of stuff. It's got the drain outlets and that sort of stuff, so it's pretty well self-contained. I thought I'd paint it with some proper waterproof paint type sort of thing that is used in wet areas, so there's no trouble with that. So also I put some ply, fresh ply in these, because some of it was looking a bit rough. Instead of trying to sand it and fill it in with some fill, I put that over the top. And same with this side. This looks great now. It's all fully sealed. I will eventually, once I've finished doing all this, the floor, I will put another thin sheet of ply all the way from here. I'm not sure about in there. Could possibly. It's just because the curve is, that's it. If you put anything heavy, you could end up damaging it. I might line it with more ply just to give it that added protection. I think I might. I'm feeling it in my waters, and it can go up that curve at the front there as well. Because when people are sitting here, and if you've got a couple of people sitting here, right, I hope this isn't still wet. If you're sitting here, the person that's sitting closest to the windows here will have their feet on here, and I'd rather protect it a little bit. Hello, how you going, Raider? Oh, little baby. Who's my little baby? Hello. What am I doing? What am I doing? Hey? Checking everything out. You're checking everything out, mister. What am I doing? Where can you smell? So there's Radar, decided to come and say hello. And that's where I'm at. So I've got the top coat to go on everywhere. Like I said, it's all painted. You can see it's all painted now. Finish the top coat to do that. And then I can start seeing, once I've got my tail lights, they're coming next week. then I can put the wires in. Once I've put my wires in and the outside's ready to go, I can box this in properly, because this is still open. I've still got, so from the middle, I've left that there to show me that old nail. I'll cut that out though. So another piece of framework is supposed to go across the middle, but I'm leaving that out so I've got room to work. Then I can put some more ply. I've got heaps of cut off that I can use. That will be nailed down there, nailed down across the back. I'll have the front as a hatch so you can get into it easy, in and out, even though it's got this door at the front. Still always be nice to have easier access. If you're rickety and getting old like me, it's pretty hard trying to get down there. So that's where I'm at. I'm in two minds about this sink. The more I'm fixing this caravan up, the crappier this sink is looking. I've looked everywhere online to try and find an acrylic sink the same size. This is a really small sink. It's got heaps of space in there, but it's a really small sink in comparison to what's out there now. Do I change it? Do I take it to somebody? I know that you can sand all these burn marks out and these, yeah, stainy. I know you can sand those out. I don't know about this, even though that's been fixed at crack. That I'll just have to wait for that. So once I've got the top coat, I'm sort of going off in different tangents. Once I've got the undercoat on, I can start seeing about more. I've still got the covers for here. They need to be stripped back with paint stripper and given a sand and then painted. They're in good condition, so that's going to save me doing that. I can work on the table eventually at some point. Then I'm sort of almost finished in here, apart from the cushions. I'll make them myself once I find some material. I'm letting the van speak to me. Barbara's speaking to me. See what we come up with. Because of the original cracked ice here, something to go with that, something reminiscent of 50s colours. I'm thinking a pale bluey type colour right now, only because of the 50s type material that I've been looking at on Etsy, and we're getting there. I'll show you. The roof was a tricky one. I'll just show you all my bits everywhere. Look, that's my workstation. But I know where everything is. Don't you touch it. Alright, hang on. Quick. Alright. I've just got my little step ladder. Okay. Here we are. So we're going up. As you can see, it's all cladded. That just needs a bit of a sand there where the joint is. All these joints, by the way, so there's another one there, you can just barely see it. All these joints will be sanded and filled in with more sealer. So I worked out, like, I left, I don't know how well you can see, I left a bit of the old cladding on there, so it has a bit of a raised bit, so it doesn't sit flat on here, so it doesn't encourage water to go sit in the joints. I am not sure what I'm going to use there. I'll seal all the way around here, Originally, this was the whole roof was covered in canvas for water protection, and it came up the sides here and sat across the top. I'm not going to, because I want to varnish this whole van. Right, where I was before. So once I sand these so they're nice and smooth, some more sealer. I have got, and I think I said in another video. Hang on. I've got these strips of ply left from doing the frame. So what I'm hoping for, let's go somewhere where there's a bit of light, eh? What I'm hoping for is where there's any joins is to, once it's all been painted and done all that sort of stuff, these will go right across any joins. I actually like the contrast with the darker ply and the other ply. I will sand the corners of these so they've got nice smooth curves, and everywhere I'm thinking about putting framework up around the windows, which it didn't have before. If you can see that. Putting some framework there, some framework around the door, which it didn't have, just to finish everything off, and like I said, to hide the joins as much as possible, and one right across the middle, because the bottom will be painted and the top will just be varnished, and it'll give you, and everything will be, these will be a high gloss. So that's what I'm hoping for. That's where I'm headed. I think you can see here, that's all my offcuts from the sheets. So I want to try and incorporate as much of that as possible. I did make this for my hatch. I've got a bit of paint on it, but that's okay. I can sand that. Oh, it doesn't really matter because it's down here. I did make this, which is fits. Oop. That's it. Come on, make a liar out of me. There you go. It fits perfectly. You can see there. So I'm getting there. There's so many fiddly bits that take up so much time. I put these screws in all along here because I found if just for security and to make it a bit more sturdy, I put those, and that's going to be covered again with another strip wherever I put it. Where did I put it? Hang on. Oh, put it in here. Okay. All right. So to give you an idea, so it'll all be covered. So you won't see the screws. You'll just see the curved ply, and even on the bottom half's going to be painted. These will still be just lacquered timber over the top. These won't be painted. So because I'm leaving that natural and varnishing that, and the varnish these, it just tie everything in, give it a bit of interest, and that's where I'm at. And that's where I'm at. So I'm getting there. It's all happening. It's going to happen faster now. That I can't say I enjoy doing all the prep work painting. It's a pain in the backside, if anybody knows, especially getting into funny little awkward little nooks and crannies and all that sort of stuff, but it's getting there. Also, everybody, I'll just let you know my health, people that have been coming along on my journey. I posted my video. If you haven't seen it, go and have a look at it. Where I finally come out. That's the name of it. Trying to be clever with my headings. I was waiting to see how I was going with my cancer situation. And should I turn it around? Should I turn it around? I'm not too ugly. Turn it around. Alright, so there's me. Hopefully you can't see me too much. So I got my scans, went to see the doctor. My cancer, even though it's still there, the same in the scans, my cancer is definitely there, and at the moment it's not moving, it's not doing anything. So the plan is with it, we will just monitor it every 6 weeks with a scan, and just leave it be while it's not doing anything. So just let sleeping dogs lie. It's only when the oncologist can see any change in the scan that we will then start considering what course of treatment to see about taking. But my survival rate percentage, my 5-year survival rate percentage, he did say was now, because I did question him, I said, well, my survival, because it does play on your mind, I did say, what's my survival rate? When do I actually take it from? Do I take it from when I had my operation back in 2015, where they took part of my lung out, where it was the first cancer, or do I take it from when it reared its head in my rib and where it came back again for the second time? And my oncologist has basically said, well, at this rate it doesn't really much matter, and you are now at 5%, whichever one it was. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with leave sleeping dogs lie until you need to do something. 5% survival rate. Yeah, it wasn't what I was hoping to hear. I thought it might have been a little bit more than that, but 5%, I could be in the 5%. I could live for another 10 years. But I could also be not for this world in another couple of years. So, but I came to terms with all that mortality last year when I had the scare in the first place. I probably look a shocker right now because I haven't shaved in days. Because I've been working on this. I haven't shaved in days. I look crap. So 5% survival rate. I'm looking at a couple of years. And yeah, I'm okay. You know, I've got this to keep me busy. If I was just had nothing to keep me busy, I think I'd probably be going apeshit. The doctor's advice to me was go on a holiday, go and enjoy yourself, go and do stuff that you've always wanted to do, and enjoy your life while you can, because you just never know. So once Barbara's finished more, I probably will go away and do another trekking video that I did. So that's where I'm at. I think half an hour is enough for you guys. So thank you very much for everybody for watching. Thank you very much for all you very nice well wishes. Thank you very much. It just blows me away every time I sort of see and people sending their prayers and love and all that sort of stuff. Thank you very much. I'm still around for a couple of years, minimum, or I could be, it could just sit dormant forever and ever and ever. I doubt it, the way it keeps rearing its ugly head. So that's where I'm at, and thank you very much. Like I said, everybody, thank you very much. Click on the like button if you haven't clicked on the notification bell in with the subscriptions. Do that, please. So yeah, everybody, you can keep up to date with my videos, and I will see you all in another video. Thank you very much for watching. Bye for now. I think I got it right. Bye.